Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I never know if I'm looking here or here. I hope you're all doing really well. Welcome to this Healing Diaries episode. Today we are talking about toxic relationships and red flags. Today I have literally no notes. We're just going to chat and let's get into it. So if you enjoyed this video, please do hit a lovely thumbs up. If it helps you or anything like that, please do share it. Help me to grow this channel. We're on the road to 10k. It's taken a long time for you girl to get to 5k. Let's go to 10. Let's do it. So join our lovely community by hitting the subscribe button down below. I do offer private psychic readings. If you'd like one of those, I'll leave the link down below as well. And yeah, let's chat. So what is a toxic relationship, first of all, and what is a red flag? Let's go there. Okay, so a toxic relationship is anything that feels unhealthy, right? Anything that feels opposite to healthy. Toxic is poison, toxic is damaging, toxic is draining, toxic is negative. If we think of the word toxic, it's poisonous, right? So a relationship that is toxic is a poisonous, dangerous relationship, okay? And a red flag are all the little signs that point to a relationship being that way. Now, what I will say is from the outside, it's very easy to look at a toxic relationship and pinpoint it, right? We can look at, I don't know, celebrity relationships and be like, that's a bit toxic. But when it comes to our own dysfunction, it's a lot harder to see. When you're inside something, it's a lot more difficult to point it out because things become your baseline, they become your norm. It's like stress. When you're stressed, sometimes you don't even realize because it's become your baseline. And it's the same with toxic relationships, right? And sometimes the red flags are so small and so insidious that you can't see them. And red flags and toxic relationships are not just like exclusive to romantic relationships. They can come up in work situations, they can come up in family situations, in friendships. They're not just exclusive to romantic, right? So I had a saying, I don't know if I shared it on here before, which is when you have rose tinted glasses on, which is what we tend to do when we go into relationships, and I will talk about romantic relationships because that is what most people, you know, like to dive into. When we go into romantic relationships, we put on our rose tinted glasses because we want to believe in the best. Everyone wants to be in love. And that is where sometimes, most times, the reason why we can succumb to certain situations, because we put up with more because we want it so bad. I feel like as humans, all we kind of want to be is loved. And I feel like that is like synonymous. Is that the word? Like that's just international. That is just, no matter the age, gender, creed, we all just want to be loved. So when it comes to romantic relationships, we are willing to put up with a lot more because of what we want, right? For example, in my relationship, obviously through experience, I would never put up with certain things now. But at the time, I came from a background where I came from a single parent household. My idea of success was to have a 2-parent household and a white picket fence and whatever. So I was going to do whatever I needed to do for that to be my outcome. And there's a famous interview, Adele talks about this as well, where, you know, she was obsessed with the nuclear family. And I feel like when you maybe come from, or even if you came from a nuclear family, it's probably just that ideal, it's that societal norm to have the 2 parents, the children, married in one house. I feel like a lot of, especially like millennial women, aspire for that, right? All women, to be honest. And so because we want it so bad, we're willing to put up with a lot more. The saying is when you're wearing rose tinted glasses, all flags are red. You can't see what's a red flag and what's not a red flag, right? When you have your rose coloured tinted glasses on, it's all the same, right? It's all level playing field. And that's what happens when we get into situations. They become our norm and all flags are just, but that's just how it is. That's just how we talk to each other. That's just how he treats me. That's just what she does. That's just who she is. And we make excuses. And that's how toxic relationships form, when we begin to put up with red flags again and again and again and again. And for a lot of us, the irony is that toxic relationships can sometimes feel more comfortable than calm ones. If you have come from a background where drama or chaos or trauma was very normal for you in childhood or in adolescence or whatever, you are going to seek that in someone else. You are also going to seek in someone else your unhealed wounds, because that's what relationships are. Relationships are simply mirrors. They're there to mirror back to you where it is you still need to grow, what your strengths are as well, but where it is you still need to grow and develop, right? So yeah, if you've come from a situation where drama, toxicity, abuse, or whatever is your norm, you are more likely to seek that in someone else, not even consciously, which is the scary part. We don't even do it consciously, it's subconscious. We just go to that because it feels safe to us, it feels comfortable to us. And if you say it to someone, like say, you know, someone came from an abusive like household as a child, if you actually said to them, do you want to be in an abusive situation when you go into a romantic relationship, they'd be like, obviously not. But it so often happens because it's insidious and it's small and it's little things, and you know, it's our norm, right? So it's important to obviously be aware. How do we avoid this, right? How do we avoid getting into situations that are toxic? How do we avoid ignoring red flags? It can be quite tricky because I feel like there are lots of little things that are tied up in it. Self-worth, self-esteem, what you believe is possible for you, what you believe about yourself. These are all things that contribute to the relationships you choose, right? And that is why self-development is so important, because if you are walking around thinking, well, I deserve the bare minimum, and no one thinks that, this is the thing, this is why the deep dive is so important and self-development is so important, because on the surface, like again, if someone said to you, do you think you deserve the bare minimum? You'd be like, obviously not. But then if you was to look at your life, it wouldn't reflect that. It would reflect that you do accept the bare minimum. And it's all because of the programming and the stories that are running in your head. And that's why you have to be so honest with yourself, right? You have to be so honest with yourself. But one of the easiest ways I can say for you to avoid being in a situation that is toxic or a red flag situation or anything like that is to ask yourself, how is this making me feel? And then not to lie. And the reason I say not to lie, and I've done it, so I'm telling you this from experience, is because going back to what I said, when we want something so badly, we will even gaslight ourselves into staying in a certain situation. So you'll make excuses. It's not that bad. Could be way worse. He could be doing this. They could be doing that. That, like, it doesn't make it bad. I mean, it doesn't make it any better. Like, there's a saying where it said you could have someone with a broken arm and a headache, like both are still pain, right? So yeah, it could be worse, but it could also be a lot better. The way to really combat it is to be honest with how it makes you feel, and then to not self-abandon. Because every time you choose something that makes you feel bad, or you go against what you intuitively know, because we all innately know when something's wrong, right? But we, again, gaslight ourselves, make excuses, tell ourselves something because we're committed to the vision rather than the reality. And every time you do that, you abandon yourself. So you have to be honest. How does this make me feel? What is the reality? Not what is the white picket the white picket fence vision. Not what is the white picket fence, oh, we're going to get married and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to do this. No, what are we doing? What is happening? Right? Because that's the illusion I was in. Oh, we're going to get married, we're going to do all these things, we're going to do that. Like, no, that's not real. That's not what's happening. That's a nice dream, and okay, wonderful, but what is the actual reality? Is the reality that you're in going to get you there, or is the reality that you're in toxic? And the quickest way you can literally decide on that is, how does this make me feel? Do I feel glowing? Do I feel loved? Do I feel cared for? Do I feel healthy in my mind, body, and my spirit? If the answer is no, it's gotta go. And that's it. It's very, very simple, but I really wanted to talk about this because I feel like it's very easy to, like I said, ignore red flags in a bid to make our dreams come true, our dreams. to force things into a box and to make things be a certain way that we want them to be. But the reality is, the more you force, the worse it is. And the more you stay in something with all these red flags that you're ignoring in a bid to make your dreams come true, the more toxic it's going to get. And yeah, that's it. How does it make you feel? How do your work colleagues make you feel? How does your relationship make you feel? How do your family members make you feel? If it's anything other than loved, cared for, supported, good, happy, positive, then we need to make some adjustments and some shifts, because there is no in between in relationships. There's no grey area. There's no, oh yeah, maybe, oh it's okay. No, someone either lights you up and makes you feel loved and adored and you're happy and you know you're glowing, or they're draining you and they're abusing you and it's negative, and it's one or the other. Like, it's not, there's no in between. It might be on one end of the scale, but it falls on either side, and it's just the only way around it is to be honest with yourself about it and act accordingly. And that is your responsibility. No one else can do that for you. It's your responsibility to show up for yourself, to stand up for yourself, to be with yourself, and to not self-abandon yourself, right? And if we're honest, the signs are often there from the beginning. A toxic workplace, we often feel it from the beginning, but we might ignore it because I need to pay my bills. I need to show my parents that I can keep a job, or I need to keep these friends because I don't want to be alone. I need to stay in this relationship because I don't want to be alone. So if anything looks different, lovelies, I had to stop recording because I ran out of space. But basically I was just rounding off the video by saying that we often keep ourselves in situations that are toxic because even though it feels bad, it's familiar. And as humans, we seek comfortability, we seek the familiar, even if it feels bad. But we have to be so careful, because the people we surround ourselves with, the places we spend time, that becomes our life, and our life becomes us, you know? So if you're in a situation that's making you feel like ill or down or negative or whatever, even though it feels comfortable, it's not going to even get you to that vision you have, because the reality is so far from it. And it's often the thing you're avoiding, like the loneliness that you'd experience if you left the relationship, or the uncomfortableness of having to go to a job interview, or whatever it is that feels like fearful and scary. It's the thing you're avoiding that's actually going to get you to the dream. So red flags are the things that, the small things, the words, the actions that make you feel bad, right? And the toxic relationship is the outcome of all those little red flags added up. And it's as simple as that. And if it doesn't make you feel good, and it's not evolving you, it's not bringing you health, it's not bringing you joy, it's not bringing you well-being, it's bringing you actually the opposite, then it's a toxic relationship and it's poisoning your life. And again, my storage keeps getting full, so I'm going to have to delete some things, but I'm just going to start ending the healing diaries with a card pull. So just a quick message to leave you guys with, okay? And it says, let me be still today and listen to the truth in silence. So for whoever needs to hear it, that message is for you. And if you would like your own personal reading, I will leave the link below. Thank you so much for being with me today, lovelies. Sending you all the love, and I will see you soon. Bye.